Dumelang, goeiemorgen, Macheroni, Ninjani. Greetings everyone, my name is Krista Karengwendo and I am the Secretary General of the WITS SRC. First of all, I'd like to start by apologizing for starting the program a bit late. We had some things to attend to, but we thank you so much for honoring the invite and for being here on time. So before we can even start the program, I want to call upon Ms. Lesegolo, the WITS SRC Deputy President, who's going to do the opening and the welcome. Give a round of applause, everybody!
Thank you so much. You can tell that our Secretary General is a young person. She's here to give us energy that we never expected. But thank you so much for that warm welcome. When I was asked to open this prestigious event, I thought to myself that I often think about the power of the youth voice, and mostly the power of the youth vote, and what it could mean 10 years from now, in 2032, if it is utilized correctly, and if young people took their rightful position in demanding to shape the futures of their countries, their continents, and the world at large. The involvement and meaningful participation in democracy of young people is of utmost importance. And if we seek to ensure that the basic human rights of the youth are enforced and recognized. Because it is young people and young people-led organizations that will shape policy, provide for an enabling environment for development and change in South Africa and the African continent in particular. The history of this country dictates that it is young people who have led us and that will continue to lead us into generational revolutions as agents of progress and bridges between communities. It is the youth of 1976 who spearheaded the Soweto uprising and validated the importance of collaboration and the right to education. It is the youth of Fees Must Fall and Asina Mali who asserted the importance of access to higher education and signified the role of young women leaders taking the forefront. And it is the youth in front of me, it is you, in 10 years from now in 2032, that will embark on its generational mission to combat rampant youth unemployment and champion against gender-based violence, the marginalization of the LGBTQIA+ community, and normalize youth participation in democracy. It is the youth in front of me that is going to reimagine the future of this country. I have a news flash for young people. And the news flash is that the power of the youth vote belongs to us as young people. And we are an undeniable force that must and will be reckoned with. My name is Lesego Lo, and I am the 100th Deputy President of the WITS University. And more than that, I am a young black woman who believes in the power of the youth vote. I've been tasked with opening this generational campaign that seeks to cultivate a culture of democracy amongst young people through consistent youth voter education and registration in our lifetime. This campaign not only targets young people, but it will be led and it will be utilized by young people. I've also been tasked with the honor of welcoming each and every one of you for taking the first step to being an active participant in your democracy. Please give yourselves a round of applause. Like young people. Thank you. I would like to welcome the IEC executives and the delegation here today. They will be introduced in detail. I would like to welcome them to Wits University. A warm welcome to former Miss South Africa, education activist, entrepreneur, and a Witsi herself, Ntando Kunene, who has joined us here today. Give her a young people round of applause. I would also like to introduce and welcome the Wits delegation on stage and those in attendance. We have Mr. Jerome September. You all would be familiar with Mr. Jerome. We fight and we agree where we agree. I'd also like to welcome Mr. Terufajo Mukhaladi, who is the Deputy Dean of Students. We have the SRC executive on stage, the SG, the TG, the President and the DSG in absentia. And I would like to introduce as well to you Wits management and its various divisions. SGO, Residence Life is here today. I'd like to say thank you to the workers as well who are present. And of course, last but not least, the students and the members of the community at large who are present here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I will now hand over to the Wits SRC Secretary General of over 40,000 Wits students, our MC for the launch, Krista Karendo. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, DP. Those were powerful words. And I think one thing we can take from what the DP has said is that the progress of this country is in our hands as the youth. And the only way we can exercise that, or one of the ways in which we can ensure that this country progresses and achieves and gets to where we wanted to get, is through voting. So I think one of the things that she said today was that the power of the youth belongs to us. And I think that's a slogan that we should take from today going forward. And I want all of us, when I say the power of the youth, you all say, belongs to us. The power of the youth belongs to us. The power of the youth belongs to us. The power of the youth belongs to us. Thank you so much. And I hope that as we go on from today, we understand that the power of the youth belongs to us. And as the youth will continue to vote. And if you've never voted, I think after this should be at a point where you make sure that you register to vote. All right. Going forward, I'm going to call on Mr. Thabo Masemola, who is the IEC Gauteng PEO. Let's give him a round of applause.
Thank you very much, Program Director. Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It gives me pleasure to be standing in front of you this afternoon as we celebrate this groundbreaking partnership between ourselves and Wits University. My responsibility this afternoon is to welcome the senior management of the Independent Electoral Commission. Please join me, ladies and gentlemen, in welcoming the Chief Electoral Officer of the IEC, Mr. Sai Mamabolo. I must indicate, ladies and gentlemen, that Mr. Sai Mamabolo is no stranger to this institution. He was a student here at Wits, and also he was a student leader during his student days. Welcome, sir. I also wish to acknowledge the presence of the Chief Executive of Party Funding, Mr. George Mahlang. This is the gentleman who's responsible for funds that are directed to political parties, and he holds political parties accountable for the funds that they receive from various sources. Welcome, Mr. Mahlang. I also wish to welcome and introduce Ms. Moagisi Sibanda, who is the General Manager responsible for civic and democracy education, research and knowledge management. Actually, this is her project. She's the project champion for this initiative. Welcome. I also wish to acknowledge the presence of Ms. Kate Barbella, who's the Senior Manager responsible for communications in the IEC, and also the spokesperson of the Electoral Commission. Lastly, I wish to acknowledge the presence of the IEC staff, both from my province in Gauteng, as well as the team from National Office. Thank you for making this day possible. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Thabo, for the warm welcome. Up next, I would like to call on the Chief Electoral Officer of the IEC, Mr. Sai Mamabulo. A round of applause.
Good afternoon, everybody. She says, with the energy of the youth, good afternoon. Okay, no, thank you very much, Program Director, for the opportunity. We are extremely excited to be here today in the heart of South Africa's biggest city to join hands with you in building your own future. Many South Africans have paid sacrifices and some paid the ultimate price to give us democracy that we now enjoy. Those generations to whom we owe a debt of gratitude have played their part. Sadly, some of them have passed on. Their date has come and their date is gone. Today we are here to talk and celebrate our time and our future. Today we are here to celebrate you. You are the future of this country. You are South Africa's today, you are South Africa's tomorrow, and you are South Africa's future. However, as we celebrate, it is important to remind ourselves that while the generations that came before us took arms and did many things to fight for freedom, ours is a different and special task. Our historical mission is to deepen and grow democracy in the country. The founding fathers, mothers, brothers and sisters of our nation have bequeathed this historical mission on us. Our epoch is vastly different from those of the architects of our freedom, but so is our mission. Our biggest struggle is to protect and grow our democracy. And in this regard, our biggest and perhaps the only weapon is our vote. To be able to vote, you need to have done a few things in compliance to electoral prescripts. The fundamental step towards voting is enlisting on the voter's roll. If you don't register, you cannot vote. And if you cannot vote, you cannot use this constitutional right to shape the political destiny of the country. In other words, you can't play an active part in building a South Africa of your dreams. The Electoral Commission is here as a partner and extends a hand to you and asks you to join us in nurturing and building our electoral democracy. We do so because we believe in you. We believe in your amazing ability to build the future that you want and shape the South Africa of your dreams. So today we start a march, a movement, and a way of life. Today, my friends, we are making a voting hip. Today we start a movement. Today we take charge of our lives and we take charge of our future, because no one else will shape the future for us. It is incumbent upon every single one of us to take part in shaping the South Africa that we all aspire for. The digital revolution has provided us with technology to enable us to play the role in this historical mission which has been bestowed upon us. On the palm of our hands, at the click, we can do a number of things to build this future, to get ready to vote or to check that we are correctly registered. It is important that you play your part because research shows that electoral abstention among the youth is a point of concern, but you can change all of that. Research further shows that those within the ages of 15 to 34 constitute more than a third of the estimated population of about 50 million people. However, during the 2021 local government elections, of a total of 175,000 18 and 19-year-olds registered. And of that number, 124,000 of them voted on election day, giving us a voter participation rate of 71%. This is way above the national average, national voter participation average of 46%, which means once registered, young voters do participate in large numbers, way above the national average of 46%. Therefore, the strategic challenge for our electoral democratic system is to ensure that young persons such as yourselves are registered to vote. It does not matter which political party pays way to more than the other. When campaigns are run, it is for you to decide what makes sense for the future that you want to build and then vote accordingly. This campaign, it's about ensuring that you get the necessary education and information that you need to engage with our electoral democratic system and eventually to vote when election time comes. You can and must change the current trajectory. We are here to join hands with you so that we can together change the current state of affairs. The primary aim of this campaign is to cultivate and instill a culture of electoral democracy and active citizenry among students in both public and private institutions of higher learning. Furthermore, to enhance voter registration and voter participation in both SRC elections and general elections in the country. It is our firm belief that engaging students' views about democracy and elections through voter education-based dialogue will enhance voter participation in the country. To ensure continuity, those who win during these debates will be invited to speak in our thought leadership webinars on electoral democracy. In addition, we will be conducting targeted civic and democracy education interventions on campus using face-to-face and multimedia platforms to reach out to the entire student population. We therefore encourage all students to play an active role in this campaign and participate in the activities we have lined up for you during the March Focus Week from today until the 25th. Lastly, this campaign will run until the end of September this year, with each month's activation coinciding with the national commemorative events in all our 9 provinces. So let us join our elbows together today, not hands because of COVID-19 protocols, and do so to build our future. Let's start now, today, and build tomorrow and forever. As the great Nelson Mandela, who was once your age, said, "It is in your hands." I thank you.
Thank you so much, CEO. That was quite a powerful speech there. And one of the most impactful things that he said in his speech was that many of young South Africans have paid the price and have fought for us to enjoy the benefits of democracy. So I therefore believe that it is our duty as the youth to ensure that we continue to harness the fruits of their labor and participate in the ongoing act to nurture, protect, and grow our democracy. And that is something we can only do through voting. All right. Now, I want to see if you guys have been listening throughout. In the beginning, we said the power of the youth is with us. The power of the youth? The power of the youth? Who does the power of the youth belong to? And how do we exercise our power? By voting, exactly. Up next, I'd like to call upon Mr. Jerome September, the Dean of Students at WITS, who is going to give us a message of support. Thank you.
Thank you, Program Director. Good afternoon, WITSIS. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. It is a real privilege to stand here today and to welcome the Chief Electoral Officer and his team to this great university. It's an honor because the role of the IEC cannot be overemphasized enough. It is one of the key institutions in our society set up through the Constitution to safeguard democracy. And so when you have a moment, I think it would be important for each and every one of us to just go to chapter 9 of the Constitution, even if that's the only part you read for today, but that you familiarize yourself with the key institutions set up to help us safeguard democracy. They are the Public Protector, the South African Human Rights Commission, the Commission for the Promotion and Protection of the Rights of Cultural, Religious and Linguistic Communities, the Commission for Gender Equality, the Auditor General, and of course the Independent Electoral Commission. Now the work of the IEC is important because it is the work that helps citizens really take charge of their destiny. It is a role that helps you shape your future, and I think as young people, increasingly important for you to participate as a signaler of the kind of future that you want, the kind of future that you envisage, the kind of future that you dream about. So in me standing here today, it's an absolute pleasure to commend the SRC for having taken up this task, the task of helping us build democracy. And the task of building democracy not only when it's election time and political parties bombard us with their kind of messages to vote, but outside of that period, so that you are able to sit back, so that you are able to reflect, so that you are able to dream about the kind of future that you want, and so that you are able to take things in your own hands by registering to vote. So I want to commend the SRC for having done that. This is precisely the kind of student leaders that this university produces. They are national leaders. And I don't need to look beyond this room to tell you about the national leaders. The Chief Electoral Officer himself hails from this place. And he hails from this place, having been groomed in this place, having pushed the boundaries while he was here as a student activist himself, but today in a role where he is part of a team who's safeguarding our national democracy, promoting democracy, and helping us build through the IEC a solid foundation in the interest of our people. Another Vitsi that is here is of course Ntando Kunene, who has herself in her own field raised the hand, said, I want to make a difference, I want to be the change that the world requires, and said, I will do it from where I am sitting while still studying at this institution. So these are examples of the sorts of leaders that this university produces. And I believe the SRC, together with yourself, these are the people that this country needs. These are the people, you are the people that are going to take us forward. And the things we need to do is to register, is to vote, is to care, is to be involved, is to shape your future, is to take the destiny into your own hand and to participate in the institutions of democracy and the processes of democracy. So in endorsing this program, I am honored to be here. The Vice Chancellor sends his support, so does the senior executive team. We are here to support you. We are here to be of assistance if there is a need, but we are also here to join hands with you in working together, especially in this our 100th year, to reaffirm our commitments. And I think this is part of what today is about. It's part of student leaders at this great institution saying, we have seen what the past have done. We have seen what student leaders before us have done. The 2015 and 16 generations, the 76 generations. And we are at this moment, in our 100th year, we are recommitting ourselves to democracy, to human rights, and to Wits being for good. So thank you for this, and all the best for the rest of the week, Madam Deputy President and your team. Wonderful initiative, and I hope that even greater numbers of students will turn out, but that this will be the seed that is sown here today, and that over time the plants will start going up. And as you look back on your own legacies, that you will see this day as part of what you have built, one step at a time. All the best and welcome.
Thank you so much for the message of support, Dean. Without wasting any time, I'd like to call upon the second person who will be giving us a message of support. And most of you might be quite familiar with this face. And it is nobody else, none other than the beautiful, the gorgeous former Miss SA, who is also an education activist Musintando Kunene.
Good afternoon to all our distinguished guests from the IEC, to all our Wits representatives and all the students that are here. I can't believe I'm back here. It's been so long. It felt so weird walking through here, but it's been such a beautiful journey to see that I started as a first-year student, and 7-8 years later, I'm back speaking on such platforms. It's just a growth that I had acknowledged for myself. Today is about us. We know that, right? It's about all of us sitting here. It's about the contribution that we make into society. Standing before you today is a product of 1956, a product of 1967, a product of 1994. There's nothing that breaks my heart more than hearing young people proudly boasting about not wanting to vote as if we are not living under the votes of our forefathers. This is an act we should absolutely shy upon, and it is nothing to be proud of. Voting for me is an expression of understanding what it means to have the privilege of having a say and being counted. It is the loudest decision I make in silence. Voting for me means being responsible for my future, understanding that I have basic needs, and it means that I understand the value of my currency, the system of my education and health. Every election that we go into as a country is determined by the people that show up. And when the future generation of South Africa does not show up, it's a call for concern. You then ask yourself, are we not the beautiful ones that are supposed to enjoy the fruits of the struggle? When the women of 1956 marched to the union buildings, it gave me the opportunity to be here, to be heard, and be valued for my opinion. In 1976, the Soweto uprising, young people collectively fought for something. I'm making references to all these milestones because at some point we need to understand that we are under the shade of those trees that were planted then. NgesiZulu sithi, umuntu uhleli emthunzini wesihlahla angazange asitshala. So now we need to ask ourselves, what kind of trees are we planting today? It's the most selfish act that we can do as a generation if we decide not to vote. Because we are saying that all those efforts have gone to nothing. We need to ask ourselves a big question. What seed are we planting for the great ones that are yet to come? In my understanding, the future means tomorrow. It means that something that is still coming. We are our forefathers' dream. When they spoke about the future of South Africa, they were talking about us sitting here in these institutions, having access to the information that we have access to. If we do not flood the voting stations to make decisions simply because then it means we cannot complain about the state of the country when we have not actively participated in it. When I hear a young person saying, I don't want to vote, in my head I'm like, it's more like a hungry person refusing to eat because they do not like what is served. It is the future generation of this country. If the future generation of this country does not accept the responsibility of influencing who runs the country, then we can say that the beautiful ones have not been born. I do hear many of us in our social circles, we might not say it in public, Oguti, when we go to vote, who do we vote for? Granted, it is a question that we ask ourselves. But does that mean that we have to absolve ourselves of voting, period, without even possibly sitting down, doing our homework and finding out on the ballot paper which party has these certain characteristics that I'm looking for in my future? I'm a teacher by profession, so I'm going to leave you with a bit of homework. So the next time you go into the polls, think about more of what is in there. What speaks to your future? What speaks to the life that you want to live for your children as well? If that fails, guys, I think there's another thing we need to understand. We live in a democratic country. If all fails and you feel that everyone on the ballot paper does not speak to what you want, we live in a country where you can actually start your own. If we don't understand what a single cross means, then we can be regarded to be a lost and unappreciated generation, and we do not care for the great ones that are still to come after us. By voting, we are building a culture of people and us actively going out. We are building a culture 20, 30 years from now. I was having a conversation with Lisego, and that's what we were talking about, that today is a seed. We are planting something. We are planting that young people, we need to know the importance of having our eggs written, the importance of understanding that our vote is important and it shapes the lives that we want to live. And I just want to commend you as well on such an initiative that is so important. Education, voter education, is something that will change the trajectory of our country, the country that we all love so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ndando. Those were beautiful words. But I think one thing that she said that sat at home to me was when she said that there's nothing as painful as hearing young people boast about not voting. You know, here at WITS, we even know during SRC elections, you'll ask a student, have you voted? What is the response? I mean, I vote. And I think if we do that at such a level of the institution, imagine the impact that it has at a national level. Imagine if the entire youth that says, I mean, I vote. 2024 comes and the youth says, I mean, I vote. Do you think we'll see any change as a country? So do you see what that means? If we as the youth decide that we abstain from voting, it simply means that we are comfortable with our country becoming shackles. It simply means that we are comfortable with our country not developing. So we should be able to understand that as the youth, the power is with us, and the power belongs to us. And the greatest tool for transformation is by us voting. All right. What did we say our slogan is again? What is our slogan? The power of the youth? The power of the youth? I'm glad we all still remember. Up next, I'm going to call Ms. Muhaisi Sibanda, who is the General Manager of CDE RKM. She'll further elaborate on that. So they are going to do an IEC presentation, which is the main reason why we're here today. So before I waste any time, I'd like us to give a round of applause for Ms. Sibanda. Thank you.
Thank you very much, program director. The name is Mwaki Sisibanda. It means peacemaker, somebody who brings people together. So that's what my name means. But thank you very much for this opportunity. My role here is to introduce to you our mascot, Voda. Voda is our civic and democracy education mascot at the IEC, and we're going to play an animation right now where he'll be demonstrating our call to action that is part of this campaign, which is how to register online.
Meet Voda. Voda just turned 16, so Voda can register to vote. But the idea of this, and this, and this makes Voda want to do this. But wait, there is an easier way. To register to vote, all you need is one of these, and to follow these 5 easy steps. Step 1. Go to registertovote.elections.org.za. Step 2. Enter your name and surname, contact details. Step 3. Fill in your address. Step 4. Upload a photo or file of your SAID. Step 5. Insert the one-time PIN sent to you. You will receive a message that you are registered to vote within 24 hours. So easy and convenient. Register online to vote. It's in your hands. Your vote is your voice. Choose your government.
Thank you. So that's the very easy and convenient way in which you will be able to register on the voters roll if you haven't already. I hope many of you who are here already have, but if you haven't, there's the simple way to do it. The next animation that we're going to play, now that you've seen the how-to, we want to inspire you on why it's important for you to vote. So I will give it up to Voda once again to tell us why your vote matters.
Hey, have you registered to vote? I know what you're thinking. My vote doesn't matter. It's just a waste of time. But every vote counts. When everyone in the community votes, we can make a difference together. Register to vote in this year's elections, where your voice can be heard. Go to a voting station during the voter registration weekend, as organized by the Electoral Commission before proclamation, or at your nearest local IEC office, weekdays during office hours. It's in your hands. Make it count. Register to vote.
Thank you. So your vote matters. Every voice together is our slogan. And all of us, every single one vote does matter. Never feel that yours won't count and won't make a difference. It will. It certainly, if you're not counted and you're not voting, then you will definitely can say that mine hasn't mattered because you wouldn't have exercised that right. It is Human Rights Month. We celebrated Human Rights Day yesterday on Sunday, and the holiday was yesterday. And we hope that it was a reminder that voting is indeed your human right and is important for you to exercise. Just to share with you what we'll be doing this week, today is our launch event for our tertiary institutions civic and democracy education and voter registration campaign that is going worldwide, as the CEO will have said earlier. Not worldwide, sorry, countrywide. We wish it could go worldwide. Countrywide, from March up to September. So this is our kickstart event. Just behind you there, you'll see our colleagues have set up camp. They will be here doing face-to-face engagement with students for the rest of the week up until Friday. And you'll also be able to register to vote. They can help you to register to vote online, show you on your own device or on our laptops there. Also using our voter management device, which we were using for the first time, as some of you may remember, in the last election. So we are here with this presence the whole week. You'll also be hearing the last animation that we'll play later. You'll be seeing it on your TV screens in the cafeteria, on campus TV, and you'll be hearing the song on your campus radio this week as well. On Thursday, we also have a debate, a dialogue that will be happening in the Senate room at 6:30 on Thursday. At 5:30 until 8 o'clock on Thursday, 24 March. The venue is Wits University Main Campus Senate Room, and the theme and the discussion will be, does your vote matter? So we're unpacking further why your vote matters, and we want to hear your views. We'll also be giving a prize of some of the best speakers on that evening. One of the prizes will include that they get to participate in one of the IEC Thought Leadership sessions in the coming year. So it's a great, great opportunity, and we hope to see many of you do bring a friend to come and attend that dialogue as well on Thursday. The posters are up around campus, and Lesego will have shared as well, I'm sure, on your social media. Please follow us on social media, IEC South Africa, on all social media platforms for more information about what's coming up at your campus this week as well. The last animation that we're going to play for you is one that was specially made for this constituency students. And in it, Voda becomes a rap star. And he is going to tell you why choosing is important. And this one is called Choose. Over to you, Voda.
Check. Yeah. I have the power, have the control. Who can move me closer to my goal? For my people, for my home, I gotta play my role, I gotta take it to the poll. Choose your leaders, choose your voice, choose to vote. Who's in charge? Are they doing their job? And if they don't, it's up to us to hold them accountable. Without you and me, democracy is not possible. So if you're 16 years or older and you're a valid SAID holder, any time of the year you can register to vote. When election day comes, make your mark as a voter. This is my city, my country, my home. If you relate, it's not too late. Stay up to date, participate, straight out the gate. It's no debate, you choose your fate. So do it now, don't wait. Don't wait. I have the power. Control. For more info or to check out your registration status, go to www.elections.org.za. SMS your ID number to 32810. SMS is charged at R1. Find us on social media at IEC South Africa or WhatsApp hi to 0600 880000.
Thank you very much. And that brings it to the end of my portion of the program. Before I leave the stage, I just want to thank my colleagues at the IEC who worked quite strenuously with SRC here in Lesego to put this event together. We're very grateful to Makabo and Gineibe and Lesego for really putting everything together, but also for the IEC and the CEO for his support, for coming out here, and for Wits University Management, Dean September, for your support as well. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ms. Subanda. Yeah, we can all agree that Voda is a cool kid, ne? Voda is a cool kid. At some point, I felt like, yo, Tamo Voda, yo. So before I can call on Mr. Tegofato for the vote of thanks, I'd like to call on the Wits SRC Deputy President on the podium so that she can help me as we present a gift to Ms. Ndando Gunene.
I'll sing it along, baby. Yes. Deputy President, yes.
Yeah. You can tell that we are again amongst young people. As we don't follow the rules. But yes, as our Secretary General has alluded, I'm here to present a gift to former Miss South Africa education activist and MBA candidate at Wits University, child. I would like to present this gift to you. Thank you so much for availing yourself to take part in what I would like to characterize as a revolution. As I've said, 10 years from now, we will be able to see the fruits of the plant or the seed that we have planted here today. Thank you so much.
Round of applause. Okay, so like Ndando, I am a teacher and training myself, so maybe one day I'll also become former Miss SA, you know. I think I'm on the right track. But before I can call the Deputy Dean, I want us to say our slogan again. As a teacher, I want to see if you've been listening. The power of the youth belongs to us. The power of the youth belongs to us. And how do we exercise that power? How do we exercise that power? Yeah, you guys are a good class. You've been listening. So, in conclusion, I'd like to call on the Deputy Dean, Mr. Tehofatso Mohaladi, who will be giving us a vote of thanks. A round of applause.
Thank you so much, Program Director. The power of the youth belongs to us. And the power of the youth belongs to us. It's got to be slow because it's the end. It's the end of the program. Just want to express our sincere thanks to the IEC led by Mr. Sai Mamarodo. Thank you so much, and I actually enjoyed the animation. You see, it's quite beautiful. For a moment, I wanted to take you to banner with me on Friday, so that the guests could be known. It's quite beautiful to see IEC dynamizing the culture of voting. Some countries actually, I was shocked with the CEO that some countries are still using marbles, such forms of voting. A 55-year-old system of voting. Yeah. So ours is dynamizing. It shows the kind of effort and the kind of the work that we do. But to express sincere thanks to the President led by the Deputy President, the SRC led by the Deputy President for the work that we have done. We do not take for granted for the minute the work that the SRC is doing. I remember we expressed this worry last already, and we made very profound statement to say bad politicians are voted into office by people who do not vote. So today, you have shown your commitment to that statement that you made. I remember it very well. Thank you so much for putting through this particular program. And I want to make sure that I thank everyone. Let me thank the CEO as well as the team of the IEC. I want to thank the SRC as a collective because this was a collective work. And I want to thank, because always often forget to thank people who steer programs. The MC herself, who has done a wonderful work. And we thank you for steering us up until to this point. Former Mrs. SA and former Betsy, thank you so much for taking time and make an effort to make sure that you educate young people. The seed that you have planted, as the Dean of Students had said today, to say that this is a seed. It's not going to be forgotten. Having taken time out of a busy schedule to be here, thank you so much for being with us. And to all students who are here with us, this is a take-home message. All the information that has been shared here with you. For you, I've got a quote from my favorite poet. His name is Jose Marti. He says that I have a white rose to tend. In July as in January, I give it to a true friend who offers his frank hand to me. And for a cruel one who offers me a blow or a break in my heart by which I live, I still offer him a rose. So you guys have got a rose. You've been given a rose today. Go to your communities, share the messages that you have gotten here. It's not for you to keep into the pocket. And to our sign language interpreter, thank you so much for the wonderful work that you have done. And for everyone for telling us, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for coming, everyone, and that brings us to the end of our program.